Carleen Mathews. I've been CrossFitting for 7 years, and since 2000 and like the end of 2010. So I'm like working on my 8th year, and we're at CrossFit St. Helens that I own. Prior to CrossFit, I played college softball. Growing up, I did like softball and soccer. Went to college for softball. Played 5 years of college softball because I had a red shirt, a medical red shirt. And then outside of college, I struggled to kind of like find that like competitive edge. And so I was looking for something to compete in. I started doing like Globo gym stuff. So actually I just started running. I started running a lot and started doing like half marathons, marathon, stuff like that. I ended up just kind of falling into, or I actually started working out with a personal trainer at 24 Hour because I needed that, like I needed to be an athlete again. And so I had I'd been watching all the trainers while I was on the treadmill. And I found one that I was like, he's like doing like athletic stuff with these people. And so I hired him and I was like, hey, I just want to I want to be an athlete again. So I started working out with him. And then once kind of like our sessions were up, I happened to find CrossFit. I thought that CrossFit was just kind of like a boot camp. And I enjoyed that. Like I liked that. So I started, going into X Factor and working with one of the coaches there, just doing some small group training. And I had no idea what like an actual class was like. Like I wasn't even in an actual class. But just being there more and more, I started to see like what an actual class was like. And pretty much was set on what I was doing like after like the first week. It was like the first week went by and I was like, okay, how can I come in here more? So that kind of just sold me on it. Fell in love with it. If I'm looking back at like my training before and how my training has like progressed through the years, there's been a lot of like trial and error. So, when I first started, I just needed basic GPP and got my foot in the door, got to regionals. In 2015, made it to the games and went to the games and was like, whoa, we need to get stronger. Like everyone is outweighing me, outlifting me, and out everything. And so it was like, all right, let's get stronger. So the focus was strength, and we followed the conjugate program, and I did a lot of strength. Once I got my strength, then we started to dial in on my Olympic lifting. And so dialing in that kind of stuff. And right now we're kind of back in that. So we feel like we have the basic strength, the base strength. And my Olympic lifting is a weakness. And so that's like the focus right now. So I think that like when I'm looking at things at like, the progression of like my training, what started as, like GPP and then got a little bit more specific in one thing. We go through like different phases of the season of where it might be more specific to some gymnastics, might be more specific to conditioning. My background of like running is the conditioning it comes easy. It's the explosive and dynamic lifting that doesn't come easy, and so I've had to really, really fight for that. I'm also 34 years old, and so it doesn't come easy. So it's something that I have to work on every single day. But what's really cool is I'm starting to really see improvements, and I'm starting to enjoy like Olympic lifting because I'm seeing the improvements. So yeah, I mean, my training had, volume obviously was learned for me. I didn't start out doing 3 Metcons a day. I worked up to that. So that's like, I think one of the biggest things is like, it seems like I do a lot, but I've like worked up to that,